away, take it away from my church. Take it away, take it away, oh. Take it away from my church. Take idolatry away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away from my church. Take idolatry away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away from my church. Take idolatry away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away from my church. Take idolatry away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away from my church. Take idolatry away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away from my church. Take idolatry away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away from my church. Hey, hey. Oh, take it away from my house. This shepherd of Israel, they have perverted my ways, oh. They have made the straight path crooked and the smooth path rough. Idolatry in the church, whoredom in the church, fornication in the church, drunkenness in the church. They are drunk with the wine that the Queen of Heaven gave to them. Jezebel has slain the prophet. She has slain the prophet. Oh, the flocks are full of idolatry, excess admiration, excess love for the things of the world. Mammon is being glorified. Take it away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take idolatry away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away, oh. From my church. Take idolatry away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away from my church. Take idolatry away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away from my church. Take idolatry away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away from my church. Take idolatry away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away from my church. Take idolatry away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away, yeah, yeah. Take it away, take it away, take it away, take it away from my child. Take it away, take it away and be clean, oh, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away, oh. Oh, oh. My spirit has departed from the church. Oh, the glory has been taken from Israel. Ikaba, Ikaba. Where is the Ark of Covenant? They have taken the spirit away from the church. The shepherd of Israel desecrated the altar. The flocks, they have desecrated the pew. Every part of the church is dirty. Oh, 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 oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away from my church. Take it away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take, yeah. Take it away from my church. Oh, take it away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away from my church. Take idolatry away, oh. Take it away, oh. Take it away from my church. Child of God, we are still on the message, the tribe of hell. I'm here to teach on the tribe of hell, part 5. The tribe of hell, part 5. Still on the same scriptural reference, Revelation 21 verse 7. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and warmongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Child of God, I'm here now to major on the word idolatry. Idolatry or idolaters. Idolaters are people who are into idolatry. Idolaters are people who are into idolatry. People who are committed, people who are involved, people who indulge in idolatry. Child of God, you must understand that idolatry is in the church. And there are idolaters in the church. Some of them are your pastors, some of them are your fellow members, some of them are the ushers, some of them are the deacons and deaconesses, some of them are the choir masters and the choir mistress and the choristers in the church. The Bible said that idolaters shall have their parts in the lake of hell. And while he was passing this message, he was referring to the church. Child of God, how did idolatry manage to enter the church? How did idolatry conquer the church? How did idolatry penetrate the church? This is a mystery you must take your time to demystify. How did idolatry become a dogma and a doctrine in the church? How did idolatry become something very profound and common among the church that made God to speak through the mouth of John to the correction of the church that they should flee from idolatry, lest he come and destroy them and they be buried in hell? Now you must understand that there is nothing that aggravates and stirs the Spirit of God like serving other gods. There is nothing that provoke God to anger like involving yourself with other deities. The Bible made it clear that do you provoke God to anger? Are you stronger than him? That was the question that Paul asked. And I told you one time that Jeremiah answered that question before Paul came. He said, "Thou, O Lord, art stronger than I. Thou, O Lord, art stronger than I." And I said, until you realize, until you acknowledge that God is stronger than you, he won't stop attacking you. Until you acknowledge his supremacy, his sovereignty and paramount supremacy over your life, he won't stop attacking you. He won't stop being his enemy. The Bible said in the book of Psalm that God is angry with the wicked every day, and the mercy of God is upon the righteous to have mercy upon them. Child of God, when God is angry with you, the world will turn upside down for you. When God is angry with you, everything will turn against you. When God is angry with you, then your life will become a mess. When God is angry with you, even the angels will be angry with you. When God is angry with you, Satan begins to laugh and mock at you because he knows you are finished. The Bible said in the book of Exodus chapter 20 from 1 to 2 and even to 3, and God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Child of God, why did he start by saying, I am God? I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt and out of the house of bondage. That prologue indicates that what is about to teach you is something that can save you from where you came from, which is bondage. It's something that can save you from where he just delivered you from. It's something that can deliver you from the captivity that you were. He said the house of bondage, because this thing that is about to reprimand you of can bring you back to bondage. Do you know Egypt was a place full of gods, different deities, a place full of magicians and sorcerers? So they had no knowledge of God. All they ever knew was strange gods. So when God came to tell Israel about strange gods, that they should not worship them or involve themselves with them, he started by saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt. To tell you there is nothing that takes a man to Egypt like idolatry. There's nothing that brings a man into bondage like idolatry. There's nothing that brings a tyrant upon your life called Pharaoh to afflict you and set his taskmasters over you. That taskmaster can be anything that inconveniences you. That taskmaster can be anything that causes you pain. That taskmaster can be anything that brings shame upon your life. So you must understand that idolatry is Egypt. Idolatry is the house of bondage. He said, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Child of God, you must understand the word before me. It means thou shalt have no other gods when I'm still alive. Thou shalt have no other gods when I'm still awake, when I'm not yet sleeping. You can't do it when I'm still present. It is when I'm dead you will do this. So child of God, you must understand that the God we serve is a living God. He's not dead. So there is no reason for you to involve or indulge yourself in serving other gods. When you do that, you are telling God that he's dead. That is why when the children of Israel were coming out of Egypt and they were in the wilderness, and Moses left them for a season to involve himself with God, to have an encounter so he can come back again and show them the law. The Bible said that these people were so aggravated, and they stirred Aaron and disturbed and pressurized him and said to him, the Moses who brought us out of the land of Egypt and brought us into the wilderness, we don't know his whereabouts. Make us another God so we can serve this God. In other words, Moses was their God that they knew. Moses was the encounter they had, and it was God who made Moses God over Aaron and over Israel. So through Moses they can be led to him, but they over admired and idolized Moses at the detriment of personal koinonia and intimacy with the Holy Spirit. You must understand that idolatry is not just the act of making graven images and bowing to them. That idolatry also involves excessive admiration. Excessive admiration. When you over admire and you over esteem, it involves reverence, it involves worship. Child of God, check your dictionary and confirm the things I'm telling you. When you reverence people beyond the curves, you have idolized them. When you honor people beyond the normal, you have idolized them. When you begin to worship your men of God, you have idolized them. When you begin to worship material things, you have idolized them. When you begin to admire what you know, there are people who come to the church and they forgot what brought them, and they begin to admire the weavon that a woman is carrying,
and they begin to admire the makeup that a woman is wearing, and they begin to admire the jewelries. These are one of the reasons why God instructed them that they should not bring these things to the church, because it will distract them. There is nothing that God hates in the church like being distracted. That is why Paul came and said, attend unto the Lord without distraction. Why did he say attend unto him without distraction? Because distraction can disconnect you, distraction can dispatch you, distraction can cut you from what the rain that God is taking you to, and whatever that you came to get in the church will not be gotten. Because why? You have been disconnected from the rain that ought to have taken you to a place where your expectation is tied and where your expectation is. So, child of God, idolatry is an abominable atrocity and calamity that can waste a man and that can disconnect a man from God. And many men of God are disconnected. Many members are disconnected through the spirit of idolatry. He said, thou shalt have no other gods before me, before me. So they said that God has died. They said that God is gone. They don't know his whereabouts. So at this point in time, God is not among them. They need another God. So they made a God out of the jewelries which your pastors permit in the church, out of the peers which your pastors permit in the church, and they began to dance naked. Do you know, when a man involved into idolatry, nakedness is one of the signs. When men begin to dress naked into the church, you should understand that the spirit of idolatry has involved. When men begin to wear things that will indicate their breast, indicate their lap, indicate their belly, it's a sign of idolatry. And men are like that in the church. The Bible said they became naked. When Adam and Eve involved in idolatry by obeying Satan over God, the Bible said that they became naked. Nakedness is one of the signs. When the altar is naked, when the pastor is naked, when his wife is naked, when the members are naked, is a sign that idolatry is in the church. And when Moses was still communing with God, God told him, he said, allow me to kill these people. The penalty to idolatry is death. That is why many of you are dead spiritually. Many of you are dead mentally. In your soul, you are dead. You can't think. You don't know what is right and what is wrong. You cannot differentiate between what is right and what is wrong. The Bible said, prove all things and hold fast to that which is good. Prove all things. Your pastors can't prove things again. Members can't prove things again. And they cannot cleave or hold fast to that which is good. But rather, all men are gone astray, and they walk in the ways of Balaam. They walk in the ways of Jezebel. They walk in the ways of Ashtaroth. They walk in the ways of Dagon. And they behave like Jeroboam and Ahab, because what is in them now is no longer the spirit of God. It's just like what happened to Adam and Eve when they were naked and they wanted to make clothes for themselves. They had this wrong mentality. They had this erroneous spirit that gave them an idea to create a apron. Apron is not a cloth. Apron is nakedness. When you use apron, your organs will still indicate you still be naked. So God told them this is not how to dress. The Bible said, and God made them a coat. It means a cloth that can cover the whole of your body, because your body is the temple of God. Your body must be consecrated. Your body must be holy, and God clothed them. Then they understood how one should be clothed. What gave them that mentality? The spirit of Satan that entered them gave them that skill to create apron, to create miniskirt, to create bun short. This is where it started. Genesis is the beginning of all iniquity, and you must understand, if you must find your root and find your genealogy and find your way back to the Father, you must go back to Genesis, how it all started. They were clothed with the glory of God, but when they disobeyed God, in other words, when they committed idolatry, the Bible said that they became naked. Nakedness is in the church. A lot of people are very naked, and they are not conscious of what they are doing. The Bible said in 1 Samuel chapter 5 verse 23, for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. Rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. In other words, disobedience is as the sin of witchcraft. It means if there is disobedience in the church, witchcraft is there already. And stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Child of God, your pastors are stubborn, very stubborn. No matter what they hear, no matter the rebuke they get, they still choose to do what they want to do, which Satan has given to them to do. So the spirit of idolatry is there already through stubbornness. They read the Bible and they see the truth. They hide away. They shy away from the truth, and they choose to teach lies. And such lie has what? Destroyed the flocks given to them. Instead of them to give them tonic, they have given them toxic, venom, poison, things that will not allow them to grow. The sheep are malnourished. The sheep are sick. The sheep are destroyed. They are all bereaved by these evil men who says they are representing God. Idolatry is in the church. The sin of stubbornness, is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he hath also rejected thee from being king. These men are rejected because they have rejected holiness. They have rejected sound doctrine. The Bible said in the book of Titus, it said, preach that which becometh sound doctrine. Preach that which becometh sound doctrine. So when your message is not sound, it is sick. And if it is sick, then it's a sign that the devil has crept into your ministry. And if the devil is in your ministry, he's there to perform one scripture: the thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and to destroy. The church is destroyed. The church has been killed. The church has been stolen from God, and now they are in captivity. They are in the house of bondage because this man has turned to idolatry. God hates idolatry. Flee from idolatry. It is in the church. It is in the church, child of God. Flee from idolatry. The Bible said in Acts of Apostles chapter 17 verse 16, now while Paul waited for them at Athens, his spirit was stirred in him when he saw the city wholly given to idolatry. A whole city was dedicated and consecrated to idols, other gods, strange gods that they do not know, the gods that did not deliver them, the gods that afflicted them in the land of Egypt. They turned to these gods because they were naive, they were imprudent, and also impudent. Men who are proud, recalcitrant, and stubborn, rebellious generation. A whole city. You may begin to wonder, are you saying now that all these members that are in the church, that they are all sinners, they are all erred? The Bible said a whole city, not church, city. It means even the church that we are there, the mosque, everything, idolatry. The temple was transformed to shrine. The Bible said Paul entered their synagogue and started disputing against them. Some of them thought he was a blabber. They said this man is a blabbler. He's a noisemaker. He just came here, to rant and to bang. But he knew what he was saying. Some of you there now may see what I'm teaching strange, because they said Paul was teaching a strange message, that he came to introduce a new God, that they don't understand this God he brought because they were naive of Jesus and the crucifix. The things I come here to teach may be strange, but they are true and they are from God. Those of you who are there commenting, and you would have gone to them and talked to them, all those people that have been persecuting and attacking them, have they learned their lesson from them? Even though those people are doing it in the wrong way, at least in every nonsense there is a sense. You should advise yourself from the attack. Yet they increase in iniquity, and you are telling me to go and meet them. Meet what? The Bible said open rebuke is better than secret love. Better is the wound of a friend than the kiss of an enemy. Secrecy is the strength of iniquity. If I should go to them secretly and they refuse to take it, how then will the members be saved? Even if I should tell them in the secret, how will others be saved? They will be misled. This message is too powerful to be dished out to just one man. It is a national sermon. When God was sending Jeremiah, he didn't send him to an individual. He said, I am sending you to the whole people of Judah. The whole people of what? Judah. So God has sent me to Christendom to rebuke them to the face. He said the kings, the priests, and the prophets, the shepherds. So whatever I put in your mouth, you shall tell them. So those prophets didn't go to them secretly. They came openly and prophesied. And most of the prophecies were not things that they took delight in. So because of that, they arrested many of them. And you come here to teach me what to teach? Stubborn pastors. So when the goat refused to go by instruction, you use rod. The Bible says, spare the rod, you spoil the child. Spare the rod, you spare the child. Beat him, he shall not die, but you shall deliver his soul from hell. The essence of my rebuke is to deliver these men from hell and deliver their members from hell, not to kill them. I'm killing nobody, but rather I am fighting the spirit of rottenness in their life. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 14. Wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry. My dearly beloved, flee from idolatry. Paul was talking to the Corinthians. He said to them, flee from idolatry. He was referring to the church. Flee from idolatry. Colossians chapter 3 verse 5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. Child of God, Paul is trying to teach you mysteries concerning idolatry. Idolatry is not only when you set up image. No, fornication is idolatry. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth. Fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. Child of God, if you have inordinate affection for things of the world, for men, for whatever, God said you are into idolatry. If you are a fornicator in the church, you are into idolatry. If you are covetous, you are greedy. Criminals stealing from members and members stealing from pastors is idolatry. So idolaters have their part in the lake of hell. So that is why when God was to rebuke a particular church in the book of Revelation, he said, I have one thing against you. Thou sufferest that wicked woman Jezebel, who calleth herself prophetess, to teach and to seduce my people into committing fornication. To seduce and to teach my people into committing what? Fornication, and to eat things sacrificed to idols. What are the things dedicated to idols? These are their delights. And I told you that these idols in bracket, other gods. It does not really matter that you must, create an image. No. Other gods is what the Bible refers to as idols. So now the things that other gods take delight in, the things that the Queen of Heaven take delight in, the things that witches, wizards, marine powers take delight in, and one of their delight is immorality, covetousness, receiving of gifts. All this bribe and corruption, they are idolatry, because you are pleasing Satan and not God. So it means you are a worshipper of Satan, not a worshipper of God. And I told you to eat means to do. Jesus said, I must do the work of him who sent me. Why it is day? Before he said that, they said to him, come and eat. And he said, I have a food I must eat that he know not of. And they said, who gave him food? And he said, my food is to do the work of him who sent me. So to eat in the spirit realm is to do. The word of God is not letter, it's revelation. Forget the things you read there. Go beyond the letters, child of God. Understand the language of the spirit. When God came and wrote a particular language on the wall, Belshazzar could not understand. Daniel, a man who was in the school of the spirit and learned a lot, came and told him what God wrote. So there are things that are written with figures, but they are beyond figures. They are beyond letters. They are beyond the beckonings. You have to go beyond the surface to understand what is actually there. When God gave Peter a trance after his fasting, in that trance he saw a four-footed beast, and God said, kill and eat. So to him, he was like wondering, what does he mean by kill and eat? All of a sudden, two men came and told him what God told Cornelius through his angel. And Peter followed them to go and do the work there. So kill and eat means go and do my work. So to eat things that are sacrificed to idols means to do things that are dedicated, that are consecrated, that belongs to what? Other gods. That is why Jesus said, give Caesar what belongs to Caesar and give God what belongs to God. So the things that belong to them, when you involve, you are what? An idolater. You are not what? Worshipping God. You are not reverencing God. You are giving honor to stupidity. Satan speaks to you through your flesh, and God speaks to you through your spirit, and you end up obeying your lust, obeying the lust of the flesh, and you say you are a worshiper of God. No. To worship, to honor, to reverence is idolatry. Idolatry. Excessive reverence to the things of this world. 1 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 10. Yet not altogether with the fornicators of this world, or with the covetous, or extortioners, or with idolaters, for them must ye needs go out of the world. Now you see how they still compared fornicators, covetous, extortioners with idolaters, because all these things are piled up in idolatry. 1 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 11. But now I have written unto you not to keep company, if any man that is called a brother be a fornicator, or covetous, or an idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard, or an extortioner, with such an one know not to eat. Are you seeing that? It means part separate from such a person. When a sinner is into this, you can go close to that sinner and convert the sinner. But when a brother, someone that knows the truth, and the person deliberately indulge in such atrocity, that brother has fallen beyond falling. that brother has been corrupted and he has become an antichrist. He knows the truth, and when you try teaching the brother that this thing is wrong, they come up with scriptures to back it. Child of God, run, else they will corrupt you. This is how many men of God were corrupted. They involved themselves with people who are guilty of this, and they never knew how to escape from these people through distance. They came close, they started exchanging altars. Before you know, they were corrupted. He said, no, not to eat. No, not to eat. It means don't dialogue with these people. Don't mingle with them. This is one of the mysteries God taught me. He gave me a revelation, and I saw myself eating, and other men of God were eating their food. They were eating before me, and as soon as my food was given to me, that food, the soup they brought, it was swallow and soup. Now the soup that they brought was very appealing and attractive. As I was eating, one of the men of God came to me and said, please, can I join you? I wanted to show love, a generous believer with love without malice or acrimony. So I permitted him to join me. As soon as he started eating, the next thing he did, he carried his soup that was so irritating, that had soured. He poured that soup inside my soup, and the thing was contaminated. I was so sad and devastated. I started regretting, why did I allow him to eat with me at all? Before I knew, a demon came and stepped on the food and started marching. A dwarf demon, very small with big head, and was marching the food. And I was so heartbroken. And God taught me and said, when you begin to mingle with these men of God, this is what will happen to you. When you begin to mingle with them, this is how you be corrupted. Satan will not come first. He will send his agents, the men of God which he has corrupted already. He will send them, and if they should penetrate you, they will be the key that will open door for demons to come and lodge in your ministry. And when they lodge, they will destroy. The way they were matching the food, that's the way they will destroy everything that is given to you, called a blessing. From that time, I became more careful than I was. This is what happened to your men of God. They were corrupted through affiliation. They were corrupted through their relationship with other men of God who are corrupted. A man of God like Michael Oropo can come now and say, I'm an apostle, I can mingle with false prophet and mingle with everybody. You are a drunkard and a joker. There is no grace given to you to go beyond the doctrine which God has given. The Bible said, if there's a brother who comes to contradict the truth, let such a man be accursed. It means let him be rejected, let him be casted away, let him be banished from among us. Such a man you must not eat with. So for you to dialogue with these people, you are corrupted already. Corrupted in your ignorance. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind. All these things are tied to idolatry. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 7. Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. That is why they are playing in the church. Paul is talking to the church. Idolatry is in the church, and one of the signs is nakedness. I have taught you. Now the people sat to eat and drink and rose up to play. They are playing in the church on the altar, playing in the pew, because it's the spirit of idolatry. When idolatry conquers a man, then he becomes naked, then he becomes a player. They don't focus. They lack seriousness. I've told you, God told me that these men are not serious. They are all playing. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 5. For this you know, that no warmonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man who is an idolater. Are you hearing that? For this you know, that no warmonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man who is an idolater. So he's telling you, if you are unclean, you are an idolater. If you are a warmonger, you are an idolater. If you are covetous, you take what belongs to people. You take from the nation and you don't return back to them. You are an idolater. Who is an idolater had any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. Inheritance of hell is what you will get at the end. The tribe of hell. The tribe of hell. Revelation 22 verse 15. For without adults and sorcerers and warmongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. That is why they come here to teach you lies. Because they are possessed with the spirit of idolatry. They are all idolaters. Flee from idolatry. Flee from idolatry, men of God. Flee from idolatry. Your wives are representing Jezebel on the altar. Representing man-made on the altar. Look at your pastor's wife. Look at Brother Joshua Igla, your wife. Look at her face. Can't you cast Jezebel out of her life? I'm not against you marrying her. I don't meddle with people's personal life or relationship. What I come to do is to upbraid the church and correct the church. That is the word God gave me. So this woman, you bring her to the church. She represents a mother in the church, and she's a role model to many. And the flocks are corrupted because you have not taught your wife that what she's wearing is the face of Jezebel. Johnson Suleiman, you have not taught your wife that covering of the hair is necessary so she can put on weave on, step on the altar, and teach with idolatry. One thing I hold against you, thou sufferest that woman, Jezebel, who calleth herself prophetess, to teach, to seduce and to teach my people into what? Committing fornication and eatings that belong to idol. Fornication is iniquity. Fornication is uncleanness. And uncleanness and fornication is idolatry. It's not only when you meet with somebody physically, sexually, that you are committing fornication. Lust for the things of the world. Passion for things that God consider abominable is fornication in the sight of God. The Bible said they commit fornication with other gods. So when you begin to have fellowship with other gods through obedience to their instruction, knowingly or unknowingly, you are a fornicator. You are committing fornication with them. Take idolatry away from the church. Take idolatry away from the church. Prophet Jeremiah, take idolatry away from the church. Pastor Chris, take idolatry away from the church. Ubat Angel, take idolatry away from the church. If I didn't call your name, does not mean you are free. All I've said here, if you are guilty of it, take idolatry away from the church. A word for one is a word for all. Counsel in the heart of a man is like a deep water. The wise draweth out of it. He that has ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the church. This is the voice of heaven, Son of David. Wisdom is cried in the street of YouTube.